Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And today we got a hell of a show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is Charles Sabansu. My handle is CTABANZ. You want to follow the channel, Instagram, same name of the channel, DREAMERSPRO. And if you want today's full show before it comes out on YouTube, it is streaming for free on the DREAMERSPRO podcast. So today was a bit of a challenging day to find topics. Wasn't really much to discuss. I heard, a story about LeBron, from Brian Windhorst, where he basically said that it's not 100% guaranteed that LeBron continues to stay with the Lakers, but I'm like, I don't want to talk about that because I'm sure a lot of people discuss that. So I was going through the internet, couldn't really find anything. And then I came across a clip from Gilbert Arena. And in this particular clip, Gilbert Arenas was talking about Michael Jordan's time with the Washington Wizards, during his tenure with the Washington Wizards as an owner and as a player. Now, if you know anything about Gilbert Arenas, I believe he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. I could be wrong, but I know he played there. And I also know, I'm sure we all know, that he played with the Washington Wizards. That's really when he turned into Agent Zero. I think he was an all-star. And he was playing well, and he had his battle against LeBron and all of that in the playoffs. But that's when he was who he was. So he's an insider with the Washington Wizards. And essentially, what Gilbert was doing was he was taking us behind the curtains about how the process went in terms of Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards ultimately deciding to part ways. And according to his story, he was essentially saying that the Wizards and the players had basically come to the resolution that they no longer wanted Michael Jordan to be a part of the organization. And that's what he discussed on Gilbert Arena. But before we even get into Gilbert Arenas' explanation of this story, this video is brought to you by a brand new sponsor, PrizePicks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. PrizePicks is really simple. Instead of just selecting a team, you just select two or more players, pick more or less their projected stats, and then you place your entry. For example, this week, I'm selecting two entries. Stephen Curry for more than 25 points, and then I got Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks, and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made. PrizePicks is also the only daily sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So for example, if you have a player who gets injured in the first half and doesn't return to the second half, that player gets automatically rebooted. What I also love about PrizePicks is that it offers weekly promotions like Taco Tuesdays. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. And once again, once you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Gilbert Arenas had to say. It's a short clip, about 2 minutes or so, about the Michael Jordan story, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to that.
They just had a big falling out. Okay. Right? I know people, try to pretend that it didn't happen, but when he went there, it was the gang ownership. And, he got rid of like the Rip Hamiltons and all the young guys, Courtney Alexander, Popeye Jones, which is not young, but it was to build a playoff team to make it to the playoffs, right? And then he was going to go into management. How he was dealing with the players, they didn't like the idea that this is how they're being dealt with as the player version of him. What happens as the owner version of him? So the team had a meeting and basically said, we don't want him here. Oh. We don't want him to be our owner. So. Damn. Mr. Poland basically said, the players voted. So they gave him, when he had the meeting with the MJ, he gave him that check and said, the team don't want you, gave him $10 million. MJ threw that left.
Damn.
So MJ was so he was getting killed. So Mr. Poland was getting killed because of the MJ thing. So, so he was like, just erase his name out of here, let people start talking about that.
That's a bar, Gil. You ain't tell nobody that.
Bet.
Wow.
Shit, got Mike name up out of there.
Wow.
Out of here, nigga.
Crazy to hear.
Oh, shoot.
I did. Hey, I should be the GOAT. I did something MJ couldn't do. Got the Wizards to the playoffs.
Talk about it.
And won the playoff series. I'm the GOAT. Move over LeBron.
Talk about it.
Move over Jordan.
Talk about it.
It's your boy.
So we asked.
And I mean, if you add our stats up together, I mean, I burn him. you know. If we want to go to history, I gave him 41.
Mike?
I'm about to tell my kids that.
Mike, you gave Mike 41?
You should.
So
Mike and him 41?
I mean, it wasn't like on
No,
Mike.
but I'm saying
it wasn't on Mike. He was on the court.
So Mike was 41 Mike and then 60 on Kobe.
I mean, he was old, but the fact that
It don't matter.
It
You
was
on
still
the court.
six rings.
You on the
It
court.
was still six
You on the
rings.
court. It don't matter. You on the
It was
court.
still MJ. You know what I mean?
It count.
He's
It
still
count. That's it.
still
It count.
When I tell my story, it was the MJ with the Bulls. He just had the blue alternate jersey. They don't know.
Jerry Krause, we talked about this earlier this week, but Jerry Krause was the GM of the Bulls when MJ was there, right? So he was the architect of those 6 chips. So MJ put in a kind of GM capacity with the Wizards, was unable to reach the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you heard what Gilbert Arenas had to say. As I was listening to that story, the only question that came to my mind was, why is Gilbert Arenas doing this? What is the intent behind even telling this story? Because if Gilbert Arenas wants to tell stories, I'm sure he knows a lot of stories to tell in the NBA based on his time there, based on all the relationships that he still has. So I'm sure he has 1,000,001 stories he could tell his audience. So why are you honing in on that particular story to tell the Michael Jordan story? To me, here's what I think. I think that Gilbert Arenas knows that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He knows this. And he knows he cannot make a serious argument to any basketball person that LeBron or maybe Kobe Bryant, whoever else, is better than Jordan. So now what I think Gilbert is doing is he's reaching for irrelevant information and basically trying to, sully Jordan's character. The reason I say that is because at the end of listening to that story, no one is going to come away with the conclusion that, well, you know what? I'm beginning to think differently about Michael Jordan. Nobody would think that. No one would think that. The only people that would think that are those that are desperate to have something to hold against Michael Jordan and knock him off. They're doing everything. They know they can't win the basketball argument. So now they're going to, how was Michael Jordan as a general manager, owner, and all of this different stuff. How he was his personality, all of these ridiculous things, right? Ridiculous things. And to me, it looks desperate. Now, Gil may see this and say, no, I disagree and all of that. But I think it does, because what's next, man? We're going to talk about the way Michael Jordan walked. What is it? The way he combed his mustache? What is it? The way he smoked his cigar? Like, where are we going next with it? Right? To me, a lot of this seems like a desperate attempt to try to sway some people on their views of Michael Jordan and maybe LeBron or whatever. I think that's what it is. And at the end of all of this is that it's still going to remain unsuccessful. Gilbert Arenas also threw out something else during his argument with Rashard McCann on Kobe Bryant. He said that now when you ask people who's the GOAT, it's 50-50 between him and LeBron and Jordan. A lot of us was like, where did you get that information from? Where? Pull up 100 people. It will not be 50 people saying LeBron is in 50. That's not going to happen. There's no data out there that shows that. As a matter of fact, the last time there was any type of vote like this was conducted by ESPN after The Last Dance, and Jordan won every possible statistical. Some people even told Jordan to have a beer. Like, it was absurd. Nobody thinks that, including Gilbert Arenas. He doesn't think that. Gilbert Arenas doesn't think LeBron is better. He doesn't think that, because the reason, whenever you ask him to explain it, he always struggles. He always struggles to make that argument. But if you ask him to make the argument of Michael Jordan is to go, he can do it for you in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Gilbert Arenas knows Jordan is to go. Everybody on this show know, but they got to have something to talk about. But to me, the whole thing looks just desperate, man. I mean, like, come on, what are we doing now? What are we doing? You know, what are we doing? Now, we're criticizing Jordan. Like, come on, what are we doing? To me, Gil's Arena, when they do this, seems like a propaganda machine for LeBron. That's what it looks like to me, because it's like, what can we say about Jordan? Now we talking about what Jordan did. What team has LeBron James managed for us to even be having this and why does that matter? Why does it matter? Okay, fine. Jordan didn't build a successful roster with the Washington Wizards. What about the Los Angeles Lakers, the 2021 Los Angeles Lakers with Russell? But they didn't make the play-in. What's the point we're making here? Like, so what are we talking about? Like, I don't understand it, man. Like, this dude to go. Like, I don't get it. But I understand. LeBron is your man. You got to keep putting him out there, even though you know you don't believe what you don't believe. Like, come on, you know that. Gilbert Arenas knows damn well that LeBron ain't better than no damn Michael. He knows that. And the people on this show know the same thing. The people on this show know the exact same. That's why Rashad McCann had that slip up. Like, people being paid. They know what's going on. We just act like we don't know. But we all know. We all know. To me, man, let him live. Let the king live, man. Let Jordan live. Like, come on. Like, not king in the sense, like, but let the GOAT live, man. Like, stories about who didn't like him and who voted, man. Who cares? Who cares? Son three-peated 2 times, man. What are you talking about? He made 9 all-first defensive teams and got a defensive player of the year. There's nobody you're bringing in. Anybody's going to be like, yo, he bet. Nobody. There's nobody, man. Nobody. Who are the people who would think otherwise? Like, what are we basing it off of? Like, what are we doing? You talking about the competition? Like, yo, like, whatever. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Catch you on the next show. Peace.